What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a Nemesis interview, not a podcast this time. And to wrap up the season here, I got Ignite, the Novice League Grand Champions here. I have Smooth, which is the GM of the Firestorm org. So, Smooth, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Dan.
It's really good. I got the mechanical boy Rooney, that was previously on Frost. But Rooney, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Doing A-okay. And then Mr. Charles, last man on Ignite's roster, which Vita's not here, sadly.
Yeah,
But
you can make it.
we have two of the players and the GM here. But Charles, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Just chilling. Glad to be here, Dan.
That is very good. And just to start this interview, I want to ask you guys. Yes, you guys probably thought that it was gonna be a tough run here for Ignite, especially because you guys were, this is a whole new roster and just a whole new team. So what were you guys' thoughts like at the very start when you guys were, I think 3 and whatever? I forget exactly what your record was before you made this amazing run. But what were your guys' thoughts? And I'll start with Charles.
We actually. Oh, sorry. You can go.
Let's start with Charles.
Ready? Basically, I joined Nemesis when Ignite was, what was it, like 3 and 10 or 3 and 8, whatever. And I think I DM'd every single GM in Nemesis, and I was like, "Hey, can you give me a tryout? I need one chance." And Ignite was the only team that gave me a chance, and Music actually was the one who was about to sign me, and then he got traded over to Frost. So I was left on an Ignite team with some dude who I didn't even know. His name is Rooney, and Vita, who I met like only one other time. So I was like, "Who are these guys?" And I watched Rooney and Vita play, and I'm like, "Are these really what novices are like?" And then we went into the game, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Rooney's just the most mechanical goat of our time." So yeah, basically just going throughout the season, it was a pleasure playing with them, and going into the play-in tournament. We were looking pretty confident going in, but I didn't expect to have the dominant run that we did. But I'm glad to have done it with Ignite over any other team.
Rooney, I'm gonna send it to you. What were your thoughts on it?
This goes for all of us. We wanted to try to increase Ignite's record from which was 2 to 10. I remember that to where we are now, and we did. So props to that.
Smooth. I understand that you actually picked up the GM spot in the middle of the season. I remember you were on the Bearcats, correct?
Oh yeah, baby, Bearcats. They would have won it all. They just had a couple of unfortunate losses. GG go next for the Bearcats. But yeah, I took over mid-season. It was a little rough to say the least for Novice and Prospect. Not gonna lie, with Novice, I was pretty much like, all right, how many picks can I get out of the 3 players I have just to just put them somewhere else, restart up fresh, try and consolidate something at the very least. But took a couple of risks, signed a couple of randos who I didn't know at the time, and I mean, I guess it worked.
Okay, yeah, Smooth. I was gonna head it back to you. So, did you do any scouting on any of these players? I know you're new to the position, so did you know anything about any of these Ignite players that are currently on your roster that won the chip, or were you just kind of like, I'm gonna just throw whoever out there and just wish for the best?
I knew who Rooney was for a while. I've kept an eye on that man doing triple resets on like Thanovic or something like that. It was crazy. I don't know. I couldn't believe it. But and then with Charles and Vita, Music actually suggested them to me, and I'm like, you know what? I have a lot of faith in Music. I don't think he's gonna try and throw the season for me or whatever, or make it so I can't recover. I had a lot of trust in him. Went with it, and I guess it just worked. It worked.
It worked indeed, as you guys, eventually won the Season 7 chip. Charles, I knew you came into the season in the middle. What were your thoughts, like first initial thoughts on Nemesis in general? And what made you really push yourself to actually become a better player and be, a solid rock for this Ignite roster?
I just really like the game of Rocket League. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's something that I'm at least decent at, so I just try to get better at it. I definitely had to switch up just how I played when it came to playing with these two, because Rooney and Vita are very mechanical and they're very aggressive in how they push. So I had to learn how to play more passive and try to get better at like giving clears and getting the ball to them. Basically, is just being an aggressive third man, basically. And we once I figured that out, I think the season went more smoothly because as long as you give Rooney or Vita the ball, they're just gonna score. I mean, it's not really that hard. It's kind of just like it's just a simple formula, you know. So that's basically all I was thinking the mid season. We felt confident. I didn't expect us to make plans, to be honest.
Well, luckily you did by a rule of saying, there has to be a certain amount of teams coming from the East, and you guys were that team that slid into that position. And Rooney, I want to send this next question to you.
All
You were
right.
traded from Frost to Ignite in the middle of the season towards the trade deadline. What were your thoughts on that? And what did you think going forward with this Ignite roster?
I did know. I found this out through the transactions channel, and at first I was pretty upset because I didn't know the context of why I was being traded, but now I do. I'm kind of glad I was, because it helped me get the chip, and I could just come back to Frost next season anyway. So I mean, it's a win-win.
That's crazy.
Oh, do I hear
Crazy.
something? Wait a second.
My soul.
Hey,
Rooney,
hey.
How could you do this to me?
let's go.
I got two things to say though. First, shout out to Charles and Vita, because without them, I could not have peaked in my matches. Second of all, if I go to Prospect, I'm joining Charles on Ember. That's not a doubt.
Better start
Ooh.
grinding.
Oh, a little
yeah.
hot take. All right. So, Smooth, I know you were new to the position. So, what team did you mostly focus on, when you first became GM? Because you were saying earlier that Ignite and Ember was kind of like a crapshoot. Did you start to focus on them a little bit more when they started to win, or were you just kind of just like, they won a game or two, let's just move on with my life?
With Ember, I grabbed a new player, one of my friends who joined the league, because it might as well give him some experience playing. They picked up a couple of wins, but after that, it was just kind of hard to really get them going. They were pretty far gone at that point. And then with Ignite, after I picked them up, they started getting some traction, getting some wins, and of course, I'm like, they have a shot. And I mean, I wish I probably should have done more. I probably should have been there a few more times for like replay reviews or whatever. I was there once, but I very much paid a lot of attention to how Ignite was playing.
That's very good. I know you were new to the position, so you were just kind of thrown into it, like I said, middle of the season. So it is rough. So, I give you props for just sticking with this Ignite team and not doing anything else from GM to GM. I respect that. And I'm just gonna send it to anybody out there, the Charles or Rooney, for the rest of the regular season. Did you guys think you were gonna win out?
I think when it got deeper in the regular season, definitely I was like, all right, I know our potential. Everybody, not a whole lot of teams really thought much of us, playing against us. But afterwards, they're like, who are these guys? So we definitely gained a lot of people putting us on their radar, which I was kind of afraid of, because teams are going to try harder against us, and we're going to have to work harder to get our wins. So, I just kind of like stuck with what we knew how to do, and it ended up getting us to the spot. I know it's a controversial spot to get in, but that's just kind of how like regular sports work. So if you don't like it, sucks to suck. But just honestly, I'm just gonna say again, I'm just really glad to be playing with Rooney and Vita, at least for this season. And I hope they both make it to Prospect so we can maybe run it back one more time.
All right, so we're gonna move towards the play-in and the playoff scenarios now, since we've talked about more of the regular season and also how you guys got here and how Smooth was able to build this team basically from nothing, and Ignite making it to the play-in. So okay, you guys clinched the play-in spot. You reverse swept Frost, the final game of the season, or not the final game? Was it the final game?
Second to last.
Second one. It was on Saturday Night Rocket League, I believe. Okay, whatever the case may be. You guys won out. That was probably the most important game because Frost was a top team, and they were a top team. But going into the play-ins, your first game was against Acceleration. Then your second game was just a Fusion. Okay, you started with 2 wins, and you swept both of them. What were your initial thoughts when you swept both of those teams in play-ins and you moved yourselves to the 8th seed?
I'll take this one. We were really happy that we did. We were kind of sad that we didn't get to play the diffusion because we were also looking forward to that match. But acceleration, we were really happy about. They played good, but we ended up taking the dub. But
Charles, what were your thoughts on just the the sweeps basically in the play-ins and you moved yourselves up to the 8th seed?
So when we beat acceleration, I was like, we can actually do this. And I wasn't actually going to be there for the diffusion match. We put our sub Chef, shout out Chef, my boy, I love that guy. And we put in Chef for the diffusion game, and Rooney and Vita basically prepared him for the game, basically taught him just like just how we defensively rotate, just stuff like that. And then they forfeited on us on stream. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, I wanted to give Chef a chance, but we'll take the win anyway. And going into the playoffs against Pawns, we felt pretty confident, and I knew Pawns were definitely going to be scared of us.
Yeah, Pawns as the 1 seed. Smooth. So I'm just going to go to you real quick before we start going more into the playoff scenarios. Did you realistically think that they would even make it out of the play-ins? And also, as we know now, they won the whole thing, but did you know that they were going to eat Pawns if they even got to that point?
Oh, I was 100% confident. I had full faith in them the whole way.
Love to hear the confidence in the team. So, okay, we're going to start moving into the play-off bracket. So you guys are officially the 8th seed, the lowest seed ever to actually make it into that point in playing the 1st seed and winning the whole thing. So, Charles, I'm going to go to you. You sweep the number 1 seed Pawns in the 1st round. What do you think other people's reactions were to that, and what was going through your head when you swept them?
I was a little surprised. I didn't expect the sweep. We were definitely confident going into that game. I actually didn't know much about Pawns or how they played, or really who they were as individuals, but really glad to know them now. Shout out Mallow. But yeah, we swept them, and I was just honestly really surprised. We played just phenomenally. I think that game was one of our more complete games of this season. We meshed really well together that night, and I think we proved to ourselves that we could make this deep playoff run.
Rooney, I'm also going to ask that same question to you. What were your thoughts on what did you think that other people thought once you swept Pawns in the 1st round?
I thought since we swept the number 1 seed, I thought people were pretty fearing us at the potential that we could have in our capability because of obvious reasons. But yeah, we were just all surprised.
Okay, so the Cheshire org, they're historically not necessarily the winningest org, right? So you playing against the Pawns as a 1 seed, that surprised a lot of people in the 1st place. And we're going to start moving to the 2nd round, which it's the Spitfires. They were the champions last season in Season 6. What were your thoughts on that, playing the defending champs in the semis? Rooney, I'm going to go with you.
So we actually scrimmed them. I think this was like 4 or 5 weeks before the playoffs. And their playstyle actually countered us really well. And that's something we took notice of right away. So we started working on that. And then I think it proved to do well.
Charles, I'm asking you the same question.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't really remember much from the Spitfire scrim. It was great practice. I don't know what game we were practicing for, but it was very important practice that we needed. But going into that Spitfires match, I didn't really know how they played. I heard they were very mechanical as well as us, so I was a little worried, but we pulled through in 6, and I honestly thought they were going to take us to a Game 7. They played really well. They have a really complete team, and I'm just grateful that we got a chance to even be in the grand finals.
Smooth, as a new GM and your team actually making it to this point and then playing the defending champions. they might not be as good as they were the previous season, but they're still the defending champs. The name, carries. Did you truly think that Ignite was? I mean, you're probably gonna say yes, but do you think that they were gonna win 4-2, or do you think it was gonna go to 7 and them losing? But did you confidently, you could say with 100%, they were gonna win that game? And if so, why or why not?
I knew that they were going to win that game. I didn't expect it to be a 4-2. I was thinking maybe more game 7, but I knew that as soon as they...
I think Smooth died. All right.
Oh no.
Oh no, Smooth. All right.
Rip Smooth.
All right. We're just gonna continue then. So, you guys made it to the grand finals. You beat Spitfires in 6. You're going up against a Whelps roster that was, pretty good throughout the season. They were 8-0, I believe, until they lost, or 9-0, somewhere around that. They were a very hot team. They come out of the semis sweeping Frost, the number 2 seed, and then you have to face them. What did you think about this Whelps roster in the regular season? And then right before the grand finals when they swept Frost? Charles, I'm going to go with you.
I only saw one game from them in the regular season, and that was against Frost, and they didn't really look that intimidating, but that playoff game against Frost scared me a little bit, I'm not going to lie to you. And in the grand finals, I was a little scared of them. Obviously, Jeff Masters, Mr. Marino, and Grebsy are a great trio. So they definitely game planned coming into it, and it definitely was on display. I mean, they shut us out for 3 games, and honestly, that series was probably the most fun I've ever had in Rocket League, just competing against those guys. We didn't even have to necessarily win. I just wanted to have fun one last time with my boys, and we ended up winning, and it felt pretty cool. So, yeah.
Rooney, I'm going to throw that same question to you about the Whelps.
When I was on your team, Frost, we scrimmed Whelps, and at the time they were, well, to us, because I'm not as good as I am now, was then, but they were pretty intimidating. I think a lot of that had to do with playstyle, and I knew Mr. Marino liked to go off the ceiling. I respect that, but I definitely felt it was probably going to go to Game 7 whenever we played that series.
Yeah, we're going to look to the grand finals day, Saturday. What did you guys do to prepare against Whelps?
Preparing against the Whelps, honestly, we just played a lot of games. The thing that will surprise most people is when me, Rooney, and Vita 3-stack for ranked, we don't usually win a lot. So, yeah, we don't really win a lot. We just prioritize getting those games in, and honestly, we're not hard coming. We're just having conversations, just talking to each other about our days. And yeah, we were just having fun. That's basically what we were doing to prepare for that Whelps match. And then I took a look, I think it was the night before the match, I took a look at the Whelps game against Frost, and I was like, okay, I think we have a shot. But it was not the same Whelps team. I think honestly, there's not more preparation done before the game, as there was more just adjusting mid game to that Whelps roster.
As you just said, adjusting mid game. You guys were looking at a barrel down 3-1 in the grand finals. If you lose one more game, you're done. You're at your final life. What was your guys' mental mindset when you were just starting Game 5 and you guys were down 3-1? Rooney, I'm gonna start with you.
We actually called I think it was a timeout in Game 2, because once they sank that first or second game, I knew something was going on, and I decided to get Isaac in here, and he told us that we needed to play faster because their demos were getting to us because of we were playing slow, and we did exactly that, and we won we still lost the next game, but then we took it back. And I think that's what really helped us. So shout out to Isaac.
Charles?
I would like to say Isaac definitely helped us get quicker. But I think the main piece of advice we got was at the end. I think it was of Game 4. I think we're down 3-1 at that point, and Kyle joins the call because I forgot why he joined the call. I think he was just giving us a little bit of advice, and he joined and he goes, guys, just have fun. It's at the end of the day, that's just all that matters. And honestly, like, we went into that game and we just talked, like, we obviously hard calmed, but after goals we were talking like we talk when we queue together. We were just having fun, just doing our thing and going out there and playing Rocket League. That's just how we roll.
And Smooth, I'm gonna bounce this question to you. Without like you saying that, yeah, I had confidence the whole time in Ignite. When you're down 3-1, that's pretty sketchy, So how did you feel in that moment of time when they were like officially down 3-1, and them having to win 3 straight against this Welsh roster that was pretty much handling them for the first 4 games of the series?
I actually was not home at the time. I don't know what I was doing specifically, but I was out with my family. So I could only like tab in every like couple of minutes just to see how things were going. And I'm not gonna lie, my palms were sweatier than I'm sure theirs were. I was more anxious for them. I'm like, oh my god, no way, they do all this and they're gonna lose. But I couldn't continue watching and I was so sad. And then I get home and I see that they won, and I was just ecstatic.
Yeah, I have the same feeling when some of my teams are in the playoffs, so I understand where you're coming from about me being even more nervous than the players themselves. I understand that. Okay. You guys won the 5th game, so it's now 3-2. Did you start to think, oh, we might actually have a chance now, we just need to win 2 more instead of 3, because that's huge. 3-2, that's huge. And then even 2-1, that's even better. And then eventually when you tie, it's like, holy crap, we have 5 minutes of Rocket League to play. But once you guys won that 5th game, that 6th game, you guys had the momentum for sure. Did you think that you were going to take it all the way at that point because you had the momentum? Or do you think that you guys were mentally going to get in your head and overconfidence in yourselves and slip up and lose a game?
Honestly, we went into that game 7. That's actually the little break that I remember the most. I was just talking with Rooney and Vita, and I was like, it's a pleasure playing with you guys. Thank you so much for just the season. And yeah, we just basically, that was our mindset going into game 7. And game 6, I was being like super aggressive, like uber aggressive, because that's just kind of how I roll as third man. And I think I was catching them a little off guard by me doing that. I don't think they counted me in as much of a factor as Rooney or Vita, and I don't think a whole lot of teams do. So I just kind of like put myself out there, whether it came from like bumps or I just try to get passes out to them. Just in game 6 and going into game 7, I really wanted to win so badly, but I just wanted to have fun and go out there and just do what we did. And I wasn't really nervous for it. I was just like, one more game, it's win or go home. Like, I'm fine with just how the season went, to be honest. Like, to be in this position was still pretty cool.
Rooney, for you being one of the youngest kids in this league that's actually eligible to play, it's your first season in Nemesis, game 7. Wow, we're here. Final 5 minutes of Rocket League. I need to give it my all. Were you nervous at all? Or were you just like, whatever?
I was kind of a mix. I was definitely nervous because I knew that they still had the potential to take to get the dub, but at the same time I was also just like, like, it's our final game, like, let's just have fun. Because I think at that point we had the momentum because we figured out most of their play style, and I think that's what we used in game 7, and we ended up taking the dub.
Very good. Smooth, I know you weren't there, unfortunately, but your boys are in a game 7. You probably don't know. What were your thoughts would have been if you knew that at the time that they were playing?
Oh god, honestly, I wouldn't be able to think too much anyways. I'd be so nervous, especially for them. But I mean, honestly, I would just have faith that they have the ice, they can pull it out. I've had faith the entire season. Why would I lose it at the very end?
Alright, you're taking one of my lines, ice in my veins. I don't like that.
Well, you want me
But,
to use fire in our hearts? That's even worse.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right, so you
That's
guys,
super cringe.
so that ball touches the ground in the game 7, and it says ignite across the board. What were your guys' thoughts? What were your first reactions of like winning? Were you jumping, screaming, or were you just like, all right, good game, guys?
I was sweaty.
Yeah, no,
And
we were
tired.
yeah, it's sweaty and tired. I was really tired actually, but we were really happy. We were all celebrating because when it was 4-1 with like 16 seconds left, we knew we had it. Shout out the Whelps because they played very good, but
They're scary.
they're scary. They we ended up taking the dub and we celebrated, and then I pretty much got my stuff ready for school and just went to sleep. I was tired.
Grind time and then sleep. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy run for you guys. You know, you were down in the dumps basically for Ignite 2-10, and you guys somehow made it a play-in berth. You guys just started to wipe the floor with those play-ins team. You wiped Pawns off the face of the earth in the sweep, beating the 1 seed, beating Spitfires, and then eventually coming back from a 3-1 deficit against the Whelps in the grand finals. So I would like to thank you guys for actually coming here and telling me, you know, your thoughts on that, and just saying hi to me. I mean, hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, Dan. I mean,
But yeah, thank you guys once again. Smooth, thank you for actually being here. Actually, one more question. Smooth, I know you're a new GM.
Yep. What's up?
How do you feel about getting the Firestorm Orcs first chip?
Oh god. Honestly, I think it means a lot for like the org as a whole, and I think it means a lot to like all the doubters of me getting GM. You know, I'm sure people weren't like, "Oh my god, who is this Smooth guy? He's gonna like burn everything to the ground, literally." And I think it just like really solidifies my place as, you know, a half competent GM.
All right, yeah, but once again, thank you, Charles. Thank you, Rooney, and thank you, Smooth, for coming. I'm gonna go around the table one more time with final thoughts and just any shout outs you guys have. Charles, I'll start with you.
But first off, I love you, Dan. Thank you so much for having us. Second off, I'd like to shout out Irosa. I'd also like to shout out Chef again. Thank you for being our sub. Thank you for just his I think his name right now is Chef / Ignite Cheerleader. He really is supportive, and he was always the first person after every win that we had that said, "GG's boys, like good stuff." You know, he definitely was like a huge part of our run. He was just an unsung hero, and he played in-house twos with us. He's just a really huge part. So yeah, we love you, Chef, and thank you again, Dan, for having me.
No problem. Rooney, final thoughts, shout outs, anything you have?
I'm really glad we won because my first season getting the dub, probably one of the youngest people to get the dub. That feels really good. I'd like to shout out Charles and Vita because without them, I would not be able to peak in matches. I would also like to shout out Irosa and Chef. Chef played a big part, and I really think he deserves that $15. I'd also like to shout out my family because each match that was streamed, no matter if it was a win or loss, almost all of them would be watching it with me, and I feel really good about them supporting me.
Very good shouting out the fam. And Smooth, any shout outs, any last comments, or just anything in general?
It was pretty nice being on here, Dan. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I would just really like to shout out Isaac and Cool Kyle, both super supportive of Ignite the entire season, and of course, the #1 cheerleader in the league, the most underrated person, the most wholesome man in Novice.
Local.
Chef.
Oh.
Local's not in Novice.
Free local.
Hashtag free local.
Oh, wait a second. You can't say that.
That's all I got.
Yeah, and thank you guys for actually coming on to this interview. I really greatly appreciate it, and I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. And I know that a lot of people are entertained about people's thoughts and how they got here and how they actually won the whole thing. The thought process, because not a lot of people win. There's winners for a reason. There's 1 out of 16 teams in every league to make it and win it all. And being on the winning side of things is great. On the losing side of things, not so much. But you guys pulled it out in Game 7. Congratulations to Ignite in getting the first championship for the Firestorm org. And guys, thank you for watching this interview with Ignite. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave any comments or anything like that. Please make sure to subscribe, check out our other socials. And hopefully I got some more interviews coming your guys' way, so let me know if you guys have any questions for future championships or just champions in general. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.